for the symbols for inequalities, when we have less than, it's just going to be that little guy, less than. We look at it from left to right. So the smaller piece of the triangle is to the left, so that's going to tell us less than and greater than. And then when we're plotting, when we're graphing an inequality in one variable, do I use an open circle or a closed circle for these? Open circle. Okay. And now less than or equal to, it's just that same symbol as the less than, but with the line underneath. And then greater than, same thing. And do I use an open or a closed circle for these? Good. Okay. So when we're solving inequalities in one variable, we're basically doing the exact same thing as when we're solving an equation. We want to isolate our variable, get it all by itself. We want to work backwards through order of operations. The only thing that's different is something we call the sign change rule. So can someone summarize what the sign change rule is? That's part of it, yes. When you divide or multiply by a negative number, what do? Flip the inequality to be the opposite direction. So sign change rule. When multiplying, so you guys should be writing this down, or dividing by a negative number, flip the inequality. So let's do this example. So what's my variable in this inequality? X. X is what I want to get by itself. Since I have these parentheses, the first thing I want to do is distribute. I want to distribute this 3 to both numbers in the parentheses. What do I do? What operation do I use? Do I add these together? You multiply them, yeah. So this is going to become 3x. And then what's 3 times negative 2? Negative 6. 3x minus 6 minus 8x. Right? Can't forget that little piece there. All of that is less than 44. Okay. Now let's combine like terms. What are my like terms on the left side of the inequality? 3x and negative 8x. Yeah. So 3x minus 8x will give me, not positive, negative 5x. Negative 5x. Negative 5x, and don't forget your negative 6 minus 6 is less than 44. Okay. Now, I still need to get rid of my negative 6 and my negative 5. What do I need to get rid of first? What comes first, addition and subtraction or multiplication and division? When we're solving, remember we work backwards. So the addition is going to come first. We're going to add 6. And if I add 6 to this side, we have to add 6 to the other side. So now I'm left with negative 5x. And then these guys cancel out. And I just pull my inequality right down, just like that. Yep, just grab a pass. So I saw a lot of you guys just kind of write it in whatever way you wanted to. You need to make sure you just drop everything down in like a straight line. Now it's 44 plus 6, 50. I'm going to rewrite it up here, negative 5x less than 50. And now what's my last step? How do I get x all by itself? Divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. What happens when I divide by a negative number?
Positive. Oh, you flip it.
Flip the inequality. Flip the inequality. So these two cancel out. I'm left with x is now greater than 50 divided by negative 5, negative 10. X is greater than negative 10. Okay. Helpful way to remember which direction this is going to go on the number line is as long as the variable comes first, as long as the variable is on the left-hand side, the line on the number line is going to go in the same direction as the inequality. So let's do this. So I have my number line here. I'm going to put 0 in the middle. And I'm going to count by 2s. This is negative 10. It's positive 10. Okay, so I found out, I solved this inequality for x, and I found out x is greater than negative 10. Where am I going to put my circle? Where would I put my circle? Yeah, at negative 10. And is it going to be an open circle or a closed circle? Open circle. Yeah, open. Okay. So x is greater than negative 10. X is anything bigger than negative 10. That's over here to the right. So my line goes, man, it's really hard to draw straight on here, at least for me. So the arrow is going to go that way, to the right. See how that's the same direction as the inequality? The only thing, so if this was written differently, if this was written negative 10 less than x, that's the same thing. I just wrote it backwards. Negative 10 less than x, then the arrow would still be going to the right. So just be careful. You can use this trick, but only if the variable is written on the left-hand side. Questions on that? Okay. All right. Let's move on. Okay. And this is something else I saw. Just a lot of confusion when the inequalities were written like this, with the number first. A lot of you flipped the number line the wrong way. So I think it's going to be easier if we say, if the variable is on the right side, if it's on the right side of the inequality, after you've solved the problem, flip the entire problem around. So we'll just write it backwards. But when you write it backwards, make sure to write the inequality backwards too. Yeah? Let's do an example. So I've got negative 4x plus 9 is greater than or equal to x minus 21. So I want to get, well, what's my variable? X. I want to get my x's together on one side of the inequality and the numbers on the other side. So do you guys want to move the negative 4x or the x? The x? Okay. So let's subtract x from there, which means I subtract x from here. I could have easily moved the negative 4x first if I wanted. Okay, now negative 4x minus x, what does that give me?
4. Negative 4.
What is it? Negative 4x minus x.
Is it the same?
What is it? What'd you say?
Negative 4x.
There you go, negative 5x.
How did you get that?
So think about it. If I, yeah. So when it's negatives, I use this example all the time, right? If someone let me borrow $4, and then they let me borrow another $1, how much money would I owe them? $5. So I'd be in debt $5. So when you subtract a negative from a negative, you keep going more negative. Okay, and then I pull down the plus 9. And that is greater than or equal to this x minus x that canceled out. So that's greater than or equal to negative 21. Okay. Oh. Aha. I did this. I'm not going to prove my point, but that's okay. We're still getting practice. Okay, what do I need to do next to solve for x? What do I do next? Add 9? Subtract 9. Subtract 9 from here, subtract 9 from there. I'm left with negative 5x. Positive 9 minus 9 is 0. So negative 5x is greater than or equal to negative 30. So we write it up here, negative 5x greater than or equal to negative 30. How do I solve for x now? Divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. X is then greater than or equal to negative 30 divided by negative 5. So x is greater than or equal to 6. So again, my variable is written on the left side, even though I really wanted it to be on the right side, but that's okay. So it's written on the left side. That means when I draw my line, it's going to be going to the right. Same direction as this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where am I going to draw my circle? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it going to be open or closed? Closed. And like I said, it's going to go to the right. Okay. Can you tell me one from your packet? I think there's plenty of them on the first page where the variable is written on the right side of the inequality. Can you show me an example or tell me an example? I don't have that packet right in front of me still.
Where you want the variable on the right side?
The variable on the right side.
Negative 3 is greater than or equal to x.
Yeah. Minus 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do this one together. So, can someone tell me what I need to do first to solve for x? Alex, what do you think? Yeah, I add 3. Add 3, which means I have to add 3 over here. Okay. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. And then I pull this right down. So I saw a lot of you like, so with this negative 3 plus 3, that cancels out, right? So I saw a lot of you do write the x first. But we need to keep everything in order from left to right. So just pull this right down. So 0 is greater than or equal to x. Okay. But now, when the variable's on the right side of the inequality, after we've solved the problem, so like this, where we're at now, we want to rewrite the problem backwards. Okay, so write it in reverse order. So first is now going to come the x, and then I have to think about it like I'm looking at it from right to left. So that means that I have to flip the inequality to the opposite direction. So it's going to be like this now. So x is less than or equal to 0. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to do? Okay. Okay, 2 more things I want to talk about, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of time to work on the inequality packet. Okay? So when we're taking a look at compound inequalities, that's going to be toward the end of your packet. I want you to look at just one part at a time. Okay, so it's almost like there's like 2 equations there. So we've got this one. 1, I'm going to rewrite it just so I have a little more room. 1 is greater than or equal to v over 6, which is greater than or equal to 0. We want to get our variable isolated, right? What's my variable in this example? V. So I want to get v all by itself. What's standing in the way of v being by itself?
Being divided by 6.
Yeah, it's being divided by 6. How do we undo dividing by 6? Multiply by 6. So I'm going to multiply this middle section by 6, which also means I have to multiply this left side section by 6 and the section on the right by 6. So it's not just both sides now, it's 3 sides. Okay, so 6 times 1, Illy? 6. And then I just carry this down, greater than or equal to. What happens here? They cancel out. So v. And then that's greater than or equal to, Callie, 0 times 6? Good. 0. So that's going to be my solution there. I have v all by itself. That was my goal. Now let's graph it. So I've got my number line. My endpoints are these numbers here, 0 and 6. So I know that my number line has to include at least from 0 to 6, at least. So let's just go from like -2. Let's call this 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can put in more numbers if you want to, but as long as you have those like endpoints, that's the most important part. Okay, so where am I going to draw my circles at? 0 and 6. Okay, at 0, is it going to be open circle or closed circle? Closed. Okay, why is it going to be closed? Yeah, because it has an equal to as well. It's not a strict inequality. So I do a closed circle there. And then my other circle goes at 6. Maribel, do I do an open circle or a closed circle? Closed again, yeah. Okay, and just kind of read through it. So 6 is greater than or equal to V, and V is greater than or equal to 0. So think about, where is my line going to go? Where am I going to like fill in? Is it going to be outside of the 0 and the 6? Or is it going to be inside the 0 and the 6? Inside. Inside. V is in between 0 and 6. Right? Okay. So, actually let's do these ones. So a few of you asked about how to go from a number line to the inequality. Let's do that real quick. We're going to do just 11 and 13, and then I'm going to give you some more time to work on that packet. So first thing I want to look at is where my circle is on the number line. So where's my circle in number 11? Yeah, it's at -4. Okay. So that's definitely going to be like my reference point. It's going to be my end point. Okay. And someone pick a variable. A for Adriana. Okay. And we want to write our variable on the left side of the number, right? Left side of the inequality. And just look. So look at this blue line and think about it for a second. Is the blue line showing numbers greater than -4 or less than -4? Greater than -4. So A is greater than. And is it greater than or equal to? Just greater than, right? Because it's an open circle. So A is greater than -4. Okay, we'll do one more. Not this one, because it's the exact same problem. Let's do 17. So where's our circle? 3. Okay, someone else pick a variable. J. Is the blue line showing values less than 3 or greater than 3? Less than 3. So J is less than 3. And is it less than or equal to? Less than or equal to, because it's a closed circle. So when we're doing this, when we're going from number line to inequality, look at where is the circle or the endpoint. Where is the circle? Is it open or closed? Is it open or closed? And last, which direction is the arrow going? And that'll give you all the information you need to write the inequality. Remember what we were talking about with ray? The ray is that line that has an endpoint, right?